This is Stephen Welsh, President of the International Chiropractors Association, with a daily update for Tuesday, June 30th. Well, I hope you all had an opportunity to review the new Asia Pacific Chiropractic Journal that was just launched yesterday. If you haven't, check it out. I am sure you'll be glad you did. And check out the article about the ICA while you're doing it anyway. But today, I'm going to begin with a review of Clarke's 3 laws. I can hear you thinking, who's Clarke? Well, who I'm talking about was a British science fiction writer and futurist. He was renowned for his scientific knowledge, his literary skill, and his uncannily accurate technological predictions. He was best known as a co-writer for the 1968 film 2001: A Space Odyssey. Well, anyway, here's his 3 laws. Number 1, when a distinguished but elderly scientist states that something is possible, he is almost certainly right. When he states that something is impossible, he is very probably wrong. And his second law, the only way of discovering the limits of the possible is to venture a little way past them into the impossible. And his third law, this is a good one. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. I look at it and I replace the word technology, with science, and replace the word magic with pseudoscience. And isn't that a little of what we're being faced with today? But anyway, he had quite an insight. And I would suggest that some of those insights are applicable to the state of affairs in our profession today. Now I'm going to introduce you to Rupert Sheldrake, a contemporary scientist and researcher in the field of parapsychology. Now, he's proposed the concept of morphic resonance. Now, his theory lacks mainstream acceptance, and he has been characterized by the so-called experts as pseudoscience. But it's not his theory that we will review today, but rather a few of his 10 postulated dogmas of science. And I think you will be interested. So let's see what he had to say. It's a few excerpts from a TED Talk he did a number of years ago.
The science delusion is the belief that science already understands the nature of reality in principle, leaving only the details to be filled in. It's a belief system which has now been spread to the entire world. But there's a conflict in the heart of science between science as a method of inquiry based on reason, evidence, hypothesis, and collective investigation, and science as a belief system or a worldview. And unfortunately, the worldview aspect of science has come to inhibit and constrict the free inquiry, which is the very lifeblood of the scientific endeavor. Since the late 19th century, science has been conducted under the aspect of a belief system or worldview, which is essentially that of materialism, philosophical materialism. But essentially the 10 dogmas which are the default worldview of most educated people all over the world are first, that nature is mechanical or machine-like. Second, matter is unconscious. The whole universe is made up of unconscious matter. Dogma 8, your mind is inside your head. All your consciousness is the activity of your brain and nothing more. Dogma 9, which follows from Dogma 8, psychic phenomena like telepathy are impossible. Your thoughts and intentions cannot have any effect at a distance because your mind's inside your head. Therefore, and Dogma 10, mechanistic medicine is the only kind that really works. That's why governments only fund research into mechanistic medicine and ignore complementary and alternative therapies. Those can't possibly really work because they're not mechanistic. They may appear to work because people would have got better anyway, or because of the placebo effect. But the only kind that really works is mechanistic medicine. Well, this is the default worldview, which is held by almost all educated people all over the world. It's the basis of the educational system, the National Health Service, the Medical Research Council, governments, and it's just the default worldview of educated people. I think as we question these dogmas that have held back science so long, science will undergo a reflowering, a renaissance. I'm a total believer in the importance of science. I've spent my whole life as a research scientist, my whole career. But I think by moving beyond these dogmas, it can be regenerated. Once again, it can become interesting and, I hope, life-affirming.
So, interesting, huh? So what are the takeaways? Well, last week, we completed a review of the history of the conflict that occurs when the experts in society are faced with growing evidence that the paradigm or the belief system in which their mind lives is on the verge of changing. Now, as I observe the chaos and the conflict of this past month, I would suggest there is a silver lining in that most deadly pandemic of our lifetime. You see, the Achilles heel of the industrial medical complex has been exposed, and the information revolution of our time is making the efforts to control and censor that information fruitless. You see, many are beginning to see the truth. And the truth is that the science of today is like the religion of yesterday, only with an expectation that we all bow down to the altar of evidence-based medicine and the random control trial study. But that paradigm is not working, and that paradigm is about to change. And I would suggest that there could never be a better time to be an ICA chiropractor. Well, that's my update for today. Please check out the ICA COVID resource page. And meanwhile, please reach out and connect with the ICA. We are here for you to help you help your patients because they still need the reassurance that there's no need for mass panic. And don't forget, you are truly their beacon of hope. Now, we will get through these challenging times, and we will do it by working together. Thank you.